What's up, dudes? Okay, so um, we were doing some refactors associated with. Okay, that's right. Yeah, we got deck and discard pile being custom append list instances. Let me make sure I move that code from setup. So basically, yeah, what we were doing is we're moving code that was executed in setup to be executed where it more properly should be. Yeah, so we end up importing custom append lists into deck and player so that we can instantiate the custom append list instances in those places. Yeah. Alright, so let's see. And then we have this discard pile match card ref list, which is also another custom append list instance, but it's only needed on the server side. So we have this check on SS or CS to determine whether we are going to run it. Let's go ahead and set our timer here. 68 minutes. Alright, there we go. Timer set. Let's just look at setup here, and I think we have like some code that probably needs to be moved from here. So a card group name is a dead object. So it looks like we got rid of that. So we have prior card group name, but we got rid of the card's prior custom append list card group name used to determine prior location in custom append list pi so that the proper visual resituation function can be called for the associated card. It's transferred only during progressions around reset function to reset cards back to factory settings. Right, so there's the custom append list card group name, and then we have the card's prior card group name. Okay, so the card group name here and then we have card group. Okay, but we're looking specifically for prior card group name. Right, that's well, we already did check this, but I'll just Price run is supposed to refer to the current card, not the item. Did we determine this is dead code as we don't actually ever use the card group name? But this actually says if the custom append list is in the string type of item. For current card in item. See, this is where it gets confusing, and I'm still confused about this. We gotta figure this out here, because we have this section which will... This is attempting to... it says assigns the item's card group name to the self's card group name so that they are properly updated as they are moved. So the goal here is to have a card, like let's say you have the card group name associated with the card, and that is the card's current location, basically. So if it's in the hand, then the card's card group name would be hand. And then, like, let's say you're transferring, you're appending from the hand to the pre-sort play cards. So in that case, it's going to run this section, and it's going to, well, if it's for a custom append list as the item, so you're appending basically like an entire meld of cards. So this would really just be for, like, I'm pretty sure this would actually only be for transfer from play cards to melds, I think. So because you're appending an entire meld, that's what the item is. It's a card, it's an entire custom append list instance. When you do that, you want it to well, but we also have this else, because I was thinking in that instance it's gonna be referring to item.cardGroupName. That's gonna refer to the meld card group name. That's going to refer to custom append list dot card group name. It's not going to refer to card group name attribute. Two separate attributes here, but we're using them as if they're the same. Like, we're saying item card group name equals, and then we have the same thing here. If it's a card, we say item card group name equals, but this refers to a card group and this refers to the card. So this is different. We determine this data code, we don't actually ever use card group name. I mean, I thought we did. I guess we just use prior then, right? I guess we don't use card group name. We just use prior card group name. But how do we get prior card group name? That prior card group name, so if that happens whenever it gets popped from a list, then that would make sense because it's getting that assignment on the way out. It's saying it's not getting assigned when it enters into the list, but it's getting, or wherever its location is, it's getting assigned on the way out when it leaves. And that actually, I mean, that's closer to the point at which it's needed, right? Like, it's not really needed at the time that it enters, it's needed at the time when it's leaving. I mean, technically you could say maybe it never leaves, so it would be kind of pointless to get that information assigned when it is being entered into the list as opposed to leaving the list. Yeah, I think I understand that now. So I'm like, yeah, I think actually, if that's correct, then card group name, the card attribute, is a dead object. Did I skip past it? Let's try to find where I was here. Okay. There's that. This is card group name different. This is different. This is self card group name. That's custom append list. And they need to have two different names anyway because it's just confusing. Having two attributes from two different classes with the same name is confusing. So now we have self card group name. That's not what we're looking for. No, none of that. What are we looking for here? There it is. Alright, so he got items card group name, blah blah blah. Okay, so let's keep going here. So we have assignment, item card group name, and let's just keep going to see. Item card group name is self card group name. Okay. If self card group name is in, that's different. Different. Yeah, I don't need to worry about self dot. Alright, here we go. So now we're getting to the prior card group name. For whenever a card, so this is where it gets used. This is for resituation. This is where, like, this is the reason that we're using that card group name or the prior card group name. For whenever a card meld is popped from another custom append list, it calls the locate card group update function to visually resituate the prior card group via the prior card group name. Okay, so and then it checks see if custom append list is the name. If it's at type, add it specifically for the case whenever a temp meld from valid play check and sort is transferred. So this is when a temp meld from valid play check and sort is transferred from pre-sort play cards to play cards. These are empty melds, and we don't want the code to execute a resituation call because technically there is nothing to resituate it, as this append is not associated with the pop. Okay. Okay, keep going here. If the length of the item is greater than 0, okay. And I don't need to put that on a separate line. We'll do it like this. We're trying to get rid of lines here. That's like, that is the latest theme, is get rid of lines. Alright, so now we got if length of item is greater than 0. Do not remove this line. Check to see if the prior card group name is equal to none to ensure in the case of resituation it is not circularly executed. If item 0 prior card group name is not equal to none. I don't know, man. Shouldn't resituation happen from the pop and not in the append? Like, doesn't that make more sense? It makes more sense for resituation to happen in the context of whenever you're popping it from the group. You know, like you can pop it from the group and then you can visually resituate that card, right? Or do you have to return? I don't think you have to return. Well, you do have to return for some reason. Must use return to reflect that pop returns the result. Super in Python 3 doesn't require a class object or instance. I thought we tested that though. So, which that means the actual popping of the item would have to happen as the last thing, because that's when you're returning. Must use return to reflect that pop returns the result. Also, super in Python 3 doesn't require class object or instance object params. I don't know if that's actually true. If we actually have to use return here. I'm pretty sure you don't. Yeah, I don't think we do. So we're going to test that at some point. But anyway, let's keep going with this prior card group thing. Because, yeah, if you could... if you could test... I mean, if you could have the resituation happen from this pop location, that is more, like... correct from an organizational perspective. It just makes more sense. It's kind of silly. Like, appending doesn't have anything to do with the last card group. It has to do with the current card group. So it's just weird. It's like, it's not... It's very disorganized to have it happen there. So I want to try to move that at some point. It's not a pressing issue, but it's something that I would like to do. Let's say move resituate section to pop instead append. It's more organizationally it's more organized to do it this way. It also may be more simple. Depends on whether or not return is necessary for super pop. Okay. I think that's the case anyway. So if we go back over here, didn't return instead code actually use card group name. Okay, that's what we're reviewing right now. item prior card group name is not equal to none. Okay, so this is the, and we don't have to have this on a separate line either. We can just do it on the same line right there. Check to see if prior card name to ensure this case reset rate is not circularly executed. If item, so if the length of the item is greater than 0, and then if the item 0 dot prior card group name is not equal to none, okay, because if it's equal to none, that means it's already been resituated. And then we say if item 0 prior card group name is in self dot meld group name tube. So this is when we're appending a custom append list to a particular card group, and this would only happen in well, the only time that a append list gets appended to a card group is whenever it's being appended to play cards or melds, right? That's the only two places where we append melds like that. So it checks to see if the first card's prior card group name is not equal to none, and then checks to see if that same card prior card group name in self dot meld is in the meld group name tube. And then we say if the item's prior meld num is not equal to none. So if that one doesn't have a prior meld num, no. If it does have a prior meld num, if the first card's prior meld num, let me just do this. Just make this easier. We'll say first card equals item 0, and then we can do if first card's prior so now we just refer to first card. We say first card equals item 0. And we say if first card prior card name is not equal to none, and basically, and if first card prior card group name is in self meld group name tube. So we can just put this as an and. So we'll just say and first card prior card name is in self name tube. Okay. So now this can come up a little bit. Added this if clause for the case in which a temp meld is being appended into the play cards group. Added this for the case in which a temp meld is being appended to play cards, in which case there is no meld num and no need to resituate because there are no melds. So the first card's prior meld num is not equal to none. Because if it was equal to none, that would mean a temp meld was being appended to play cards, in which case there is no meld num and no need to resituate because there are no melds. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And in this case we say locate resituate card sound. No sound is true. If we don't do this, it makes a lot of card movement sounds. Then we have meld num is equal to item prior meld num. And then we say 99% sure this refers to a meld list, but we don't have listed anyway a prior card group name. Or prior meld num attribute for the custom append list class. So either this code is bugged or we need to assign them somewhere but don't have the attributes recorded in init. We assign them somewhere but don't have the attributes recorded in init or elsewhere. Definitely needs a thorough review. Okay. Why do we say meld num equals prior meld num right here? I'm confused about why we do that. Oh, so that we can iterate. Because then we'll say for meld in card group name dictionary at item, and in this case the item is the meld, the card group, the custom append list. So for meld in this custom append list card group at this melds. So this is what this is what causes it to resituate. It's iterating through all of the melds in this card group. And it's starting at the one that you're dealing with. Because if you have like 7 melds and this one was in the 6th spot, you're only gonna resituate the 6th and the 7th. You're not gonna resituate any of the other ones, right? So for melding card group name. Okay, so this makes sense. And then we say locate func dictionary item. What do we say? This refers to a meld list, but we don't have a prior card group name. Oh yeah, that's true. So this item prior card group name is referring to Okay, so I see what we're doing here. From Eldon cargo name dictionary. Yeah, we're not. What we mean to do is to access the card's prior card group name. Yeah, because we want to resituate the place that this card has come from. It has nothing to do with the current, like, the meld's prior card group name. Because we don't, like, we don't we don't operate like that, do we?